Okay, you guys. Linear equations of functions. Linear means line. So, all of these make lines, these four graphs. A coordinate plane are two sets of axes. This is your x-axis. This is your y-axis. Now, there are points on a coordinate plane, and those are called ordered pairs. The coordinates are always x and then y. Again, you have the x-axis and the y-axis. That's called a coordinate plane. You have ordered pairs, which are the points on that, and they are always x then y. Now, if I want to graph this graph, what we do is we make a table. There are shortcuts which we'll learn over time, but you make a table, and you're going to want 3 values to plug in. You're going to plug in 3 numbers into this equation. Now, the easiest number of all is 0. The second probably easiest number is 1. Your third number doesn't really matter. I just think the next easiest would probably be 2. And what we do is we're going to take these numbers and plug them into this equation. What I did is I took x and I'm replacing x with that 0. Negative 2 times 0, choose any numbers. Negative 2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 3 is 3. You're going to do the same equation over and over again. Now we're plugging in 1. I'm replacing x, see x right here? X on the equation with 1. If I do this math, I get negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. And then you add the 3. So negative 2 plus 3 is 1. The last one is negative 2 times blank plus 3. And we're going to plug in 2. 2 in for x. See 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4 plus 3. Negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1. Now, what does all that mean? These are coordinates. 0, 3. Coordinate 0, 3, meaning if you have a coordinate 0, 3, that's a coordinate. Which that means this is your x, this is your y. At 0, you're going to go up 3. At 0, the y value tells you where you're going to go. So at 1, right here at 1, the y value tells you how far up or down you're going. If it's positive 1, that means I'm going up 1. If it was negative, I went down. At 2, I'm sitting right here, I have a negative 2, which means at 2, we're going to go negative 1. Do all those dots make a nice little line? They should. They should always make a nice line. And we're done. Now, for this one, here's the equation. What's an easy number to plug in? I'm going to plug in 0, then probably 1, and I'm going to actually do 2. 0, 1, and 2 again. Could you do 0, 2, and 8? Yeah. Whatever numbers you want. Here's the equation. It's negative 4 plus 1/2 times blank. What are we going to plug in that blank? That number. So what's negative 4 plus nothing? Oh, by the way, 1/2 times 0 is nothing. So negative 4 plus nothing is negative 4. So could I plot that before I go any farther? Here at 0, where am I going to go, up or down 4?
Down.
At 0, it says negative 4, so doesn't that mean
Down.
walk down negative 4 and put a dot? Next, negative 4 plus 1/2 times 1. What's 1 times 1/2? Isn't that 1/2? It's -4 plus a half. Now, if you have $4, if you have -4 plus a half, do you understand that's going to be -3 and 1/2? You have -3. You add a half. You subtract the 2, you have 3.5. It's negative because there's more negatives. Do you understand that 1/2 is 0.5? So at 1, where are we going to go? You're going to go down -3 and a half. Halfway down a line. Okay. -4 plus 1/2 times 2. Because we're plugging in the 2. What's 2 halves? If I have 2 halves, what's that? Isn't that a whole? So what's 1? Oh, that's not a. That's that. Wait. Isn't that a 1? Sorry. Isn't 1/2 times 2 1? 2 halves is 1. What's 1/2 plus 1? I don't know why I just said that. What's -4 plus 1? It's -3. Again, -4 plus 1 is -3. So for 2, see the 2 value? I came out -3. Are all those dots lining up? If they don't line up, you made a mistake. Now, for the last 2 problems, I'm not even going to deal with making a table. Do you see how this equation is a lot different than these two? See, it's just a number. Let's look at this graph. Where on this axis does y equal 2? Well, do you understand? This is y equals 2. Do you understand y equals 2 right there?
Yeah.
Does y equal 2 right there?
Yes.
Yeah. Doesn't my, remember this is my y-axis? X-axis? Isn't my y-axis 2 right there? Is y equal 2 right there?
Yes.
Does y equal 2 right here? Does everything on does all those dots y is 2? What if I connect the dots? What do you get? A flat line. That graph is y equals 2. Because everywhere on that graph, y is 2. What about this one? X is -3. Let's go put dots where x are -3. I know that one's x is -3, right? That's x is -3. Where else does x equal -3? Well, is it down here? No. Up here? Does x equal -3 right there? Does x equal -3 right there? Can I connect the dots? So if you get just y equals something, do you understand it's going to be a horizontal line? You'll slowly get that. If it's x equals a number, well, you'll find out it's a vertical line because x is always that number. You'll get it with practice, but just realize when it's just y equals or x equals, they're either vertical or horizontal lines. They're actually easier. It's tricky because some people have problems visualizing.